Welcome to the 5-Minute English Vocabulary Podcast. My name is Herbert Lee, and I'll be your host. Now you can easily improve your vocabulary without memorizing long lists of boring words, and still develop a powerful command of English. You'll learn the origin of words, or etymology, told as easy-to-remember stories. You'll also hear some jokes, and learn some idioms as well. Episode 33 is really small words. In this episode, you'll discover words that can be used to describe itty-bitty things, really small things. Use these big words to describe really small things and bring sparkle to your speaking and writing. Diminutive. D-I-M-I-N-U-I-T-I-V-E. The word diminutive has its roots in Latin. It comes from the Latin word diminutivus, which is derived from the verb diminuere, meaning to lessen or to make smaller. In linguistics, a diminutive is a form of a word that indicates smallness, endearment, or familiarity. It is created by adding an affix or modifying the word in some way to indicate a smaller version of the original noun. The use of diminutives can be found in many languages around the world and serves various purposes, such as expressing affection, indicating small size, or conveying a sense of cuteness. The concept of creating diminutives exists in different forms and patterns, depending on each language's grammatical rules and traditions. Overall, the term diminutive refers to words or word forms that indicate smallness or convey a sense of affectionate or familiar tone. Diminutive is a word that often brings to mind small creatures or objects, but it can also be used to describe a person who is particularly short in stature. In a humorous twist, one could redefine diminutive as someone who possesses the magical ability to shrink themselves at will. Imagine the convenience of being able to fit into tiny spaces or avoid long queues by simply shrinking down to miniature size. Of course, this new definition of diminutive may lead some mischievous individuals to play pranks on unsuspecting friends and family members by suddenly disappearing from sight. Another comical interpretation of diminutive could involve applying it to everyday objects that appear much smaller than they actually are. For instance, a seemingly ordinary pen could be described as being diminutively deceptive, giving the impression that it is far tinier than its actual size suggests. This playful use of language adds an element of surprise and amusement when encountering objects that defy our expectations. So next time you come across something unexpectedly small, yet remarkably functional, you can humorously refer to it as a diminutively delightful item that packs quite the punch despite its miniature appearance. Why did the tiny computer go to school? Because it wanted to become a bite-sized genius. I bought some shoes from an elf shoe store, but they were too small for me. I guess I forgot that elves have a diminutive soul. Why was the ant always sad? Because he had a complex about being diminutive and felt like he couldn't measure up to anyone else's standards. Did you hear about the trendy rock band made up of small stones? They're called the Diminutive Pebbles, and their sound is rock solid despite their size. Why did the little candle go out on its own? Because it realized that being diminutive doesn't mean it can't extinguish itself in style. Meager. M-E-A-G-E-R. The word meager has its origins in the old French word meager, M-E-I-G-R-E, which means thin or lean. It further traces back to the Latin word macer, meaning scanty or slender. Over time, meager came to be used in English to describe something that is lacking in quantity, quality, or substance. It refers to something that is insufficient inadequate, or of little value. The term can be applied to various contexts, such as describing a person's income, a meal that is lacking in portion or nutritional value, or resources that are limited and insufficient. In summary, the etymology of meager highlights its origins from Old French and Latin roots, with the underlying concept of thinness and scarcity. Meager, the word that perfectly describes your bank account after a shopping spree. It's that moment when you excitedly check your balance and find yourself face to face with 3 digits instead of 4. Your dreams of lavish vacations and designer handbags quickly fade away as reality slaps you in the face. But hey, at least you can laugh about it, right? In a world where material possessions seem to define our worth, having a meager bank account is almost like wearing a badge of honor. It means you're not caught up in the consumerist frenzy and are able to find joy in the simple things in life. So next time someone asks you why you can't join them for an expensive dinner or luxury shopping spree, just say, "Sorry, my bank account is feeling rather meager lately." While some may view being meager as unfortunate or undesirable, there's actually something quite liberating about embracing simplicity. It forces us to prioritize what truly matters: experiences over possessions, moments over materials. So go ahead and celebrate your meager status. After all, it's those who have less that often appreciate life's little pleasures the most. Here are a few jokes using the word meager. Why did the skeleton go to the buffet? Because he had a meager appetite. Why was the math book so thin? Because it had meager fraction of its original content. Why did the burger break up with its bun? Because their relationship felt meager in size compared to other sandwiches. Minuscule. M-I-N-I-S-C-U-L-E. Minuscule, also known as tiny or itty-bitty, refers to anything that is extremely small in size. It can be used to describe objects, creatures, or even ideas that are so petite they almost go unnoticed. Picture a minuscule ant trying to climb a towering blade of grass, or a minuscule teardrop on someone's cheek. These images perfectly capture the essence of this word. In fact, minuscule is often used humorously to emphasize just how incredibly diminutive something truly is. When it comes to describing people, calling someone minuscule may not necessarily refer to their physical stature, but rather their impact or presence in the situation. For example, a heated debate where one person's arguments are easily overshadowed by the loud and dominant voices of others. We could say that their contribution was minuscule compared to the rest. Similarly, in the realm of ideas and concepts, there are those that hold little significance or influence compared to others. They can be seen as minuscule in comparison. With its playful connotation and ability to highlight the tiniest things with exaggerated importance, minuscule adds an element of humor and whimsy into our daily language. So there you have it, a tour of small words. There's much to be learned about minuscule, and even more about meager. Until next time, be definite about using diminutive when you need to. It's Herbert Lee saying, small is beautiful.